It's only been days since the world said goodbye to one of the most controversial and influential figures in modern televangelism, Jimmy Swaggart. But in the quiet halls of Baton Rouge, where the Swaggart Empire has stood for decades, a new storm is already brewing, and at the eye of it is none other than Frances Swaggart. The widow of Jimmy Swaggart, known for her poise and iron will, has just made a move that no one, not even her son Donnie, saw coming. A move that could shift the power dynamics of one of the largest Pentecostal ministries in the world. What she did, and why she did it, has left insiders shocked and longtime followers asking, is this the beginning of the end? Or the start of something far more dangerous? The calm before the storm. For years, Frances Swaggart stood beside her husband through scandals, controversy, and international fame. She weathered the infamous prostitution scandals of the late 80s and early 90s that nearly destroyed their empire. She helped rebuild the ministry when many thought it was beyond redemption. And now, at 86 years old, she is proving she's not done yet. After Jimmy's death was confirmed on July 1, 2025, tributes poured in from across the globe. Christian television networks ran special programming. Ministries from Africa to Australia expressed condolences. Yet within the walls of Family Worship Center, something else was happening. Something Frances kept hidden from the public. According to multiple sources inside the ministry, Frances convened a closed-door meeting with top leadership just 48 hours after Jimmy's death. Donnie Swaggart was notably not in attendance. Gabriel, Donnie's son, and heir apparent to the Swaggart platform, was reportedly traveling when the meeting was called. What followed was a decision that has since sent shockwaves through the ministry. Frances's secret decision in that meeting. Frances Swaggart reportedly announced her intention to appoint an interim overseer to manage both the spiritual and financial direction of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries. But it wasn't Donnie, it wasn't Gabriel, in fact it wasn't any Swaggart at all. The person she named, whose identity remains undisclosed to the public, is said to be a longtime confidant of Jimmy and Frances, someone with deep roots in the organization, but little public presence. Insiders describe him as a theological traditionalist with a sharp business mind. More importantly, he is someone Frances believes can protect the legacy of her husband, and perhaps more controversially her own. Why bypass her own family? Why not allow Donnie to take full control, as many assumed he would? That's the question burning through every corridor of the Family Worship Center. Donnie's silent rage? If Donnie Swaggart was blindsided by the move, he has yet to say so publicly. In fact, in the few appearances he has made since Jimmy's passing, Donnie has appeared somber, but composed. He's led prayer services, he's thanked followers for their support. But those close to him describe a man wrestling with betrayal, not just by his mother, but by the ministry he has served for over 3 decades. Sources say Donnie was preparing to make his own announcement, a bold new vision for Son Life broadcasting, and a more modern approach to ministry. But Frances beat him to the punch. Some within the church believe Frances feared that Donnie's direction would dilute the traditional fire and brimstone theology that defined Jimmy Swaggart's preaching. Others suggest something deeper, a long-standing tension between Frances and her son that has been carefully hidden from the public eye for years. The hidden rift. Many in the Swaggart inner circle have whispered about fractures in the family's unity, but few dared speak openly. Yet as Jimmy's health declined over the past year, those divisions reportedly deepened. One staff member, who requested anonymity, described recent board meetings as tense and territorial, with Frances growing increasingly assertive while Donnie sought greater autonomy. Frances, they say, felt that the Swaggart name had become diluted, especially as Gabriel Swaggart began taking on more duties, introducing youth-oriented content, and leaning into social media trends. While those efforts brought in a younger audience, they also raised eyebrows among longtime supporters who feared the ministry was losing its doctrinal edge. According to multiple staffers, Frances believed she was the last true guardian of Jimmy's theological legacy. She feared that after his death, Donnie and Gabriel would shift the ministry into something she no longer recognized. Her solution? Take control before they could. The power behind the throne. This is not the first time Frances Swaggart has wielded her influence from behind the scenes. Throughout the 1980s, even as Jimmy rose to global fame, insiders say it was Frances who ran the business and protected the brand. Her daily show, Frances and Friends, became a surprising hit, giving her a platform to voice opinions on politics, doctrine, and morality. She was known to be decisive, tough, and unafraid to confront internal dissent. In many ways, Frances was the architect of the Swaggart Empire's survival after the 1988 scandal that devastated the ministry. Now, decades later, she may be attempting the same rescue mission. but this time from her own family. One former employee put it bluntly, "Frances doesn't trust anyone with Jimmy's legacy. Not Donnie, not Gabriel, no one." What does this mean for the ministry? The implications of Frances's move are enormous. For one, it disrupts the expected line of succession. Followers around the world had assumed Donnie Swaggart would inherit his father's role, with Gabriel taking over in the years to come. That plan now appears uncertain. It also raises questions about unity within the ministry. If Frances, Donnie and Gabriel are not aligned, how can the organization move forward with clarity? Then there's the financial question. Jimmy Swaggart Ministries is a massive enterprise, with broadcasting operations in over 100 countries, multiple real estate holdings, a publishing arm, and ongoing donor commitments. Control over these assets is not just a spiritual matter, it's a corporate one. Frances's decision to appoint an interim overseer effectively puts those operations under new management, at least temporarily. Some speculate that this could open the door to a full audit of the ministry's financial practices, especially given the scrutiny the family has faced over the years. Public reaction, loyalty versus doubt. For many followers, Frances Swaggart's move is seen as an act of courage. She's defending her husband's memory. She's ensuring that doctrinal purity remains intact. Social media posts from supporters have praised her leadership and called her the true matriarch of the ministry. But others are less convinced. "She's hijacking the ministry," one longtime donor wrote on a ministry Facebook group. "Donnie deserves to lead, he's earned it." Another commented, "This is starting to feel like a power grab. Jimmy would never have wanted his family fighting over the pulpit." That sentiment is growing louder with each passing day. Frances has yet to issue a public statement explaining her decision. Donnie has remained equally silent. The vacuum has created fertile ground for rumors, leaks and speculation, much of it damaging. The missing will, adding more fuel to the fire, is a new revelation. Jimmy Swaggart's will may have been changed shortly before his death. According to a source close to the family, Jimmy requested a private meeting with his attorney in late June. What was discussed remains a mystery. But several days later, a revised legal document was delivered to the ministry's administrative office. It is believed to have modified the structure of leadership succession and financial control. The document has not been made public, and its contents are being closely guarded. However, one source claims the changes were significant enough to leave Donnie feeling erased. If that's true, it would explain Frances's confidence and Donnie's silence. Where is Gabriel? Amid all the chaos, one figure has remained completely absent: Gabriel Swaggart. The 45-year-old grandson of Jimmy Swaggart had long been groomed as the ministry's future. He hosted television segments, led youth conferences, and even preached at the main pulpit. But since Jimmy's death, Gabriel has not made a single public appearance. Some speculate he is intentionally distancing himself from the internal conflict. Others believe he was blindsided just as Donnie was. There are also rumors that Gabriel has been approached by outside ministries with offers to start his own platform, one free from the shadow of the Swaggart name. If true, that would mean a full-blown splintering of the family legacy. What comes next? As of now, the future of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries remains uncertain. Frances Swaggart has taken control in a way few anticipated. Donnie is reeling, Gabriel is missing, and the public is watching every move. Will Frances address the controversy? Will Donnie fight back? Will Gabriel return? Or is this the beginning of the final unraveling of a dynasty built on fire and brimstone? One thing is certain: Frances Swaggart's unexpected move has opened the door to a family war that could reshape the ministry forever. And the world, both religious and secular, is watching.